Does getting dressed in the morning feel less like a routine and more like a full-blown battle? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are so not alone. For so many families, something as simple as a tag on a shirt or the seam on a sock can kick off a major meltdown. So today we're going to decode these clothing struggles. We're going to look at it from a sensory perspective so we can finally move past the frustration and find some real, practical ways to help. Let's get into it.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll just talk about that daily struggle, to make sure you know you're not the only one. Then we're going to dive into the science, the why behind clothes actually feeling painful for some kids. After that, it's all about solutions. We'll look at proactive strategies to bring some calm to the chaos, how to build up tolerance over time, and we'll finish with a clear path forward for you. All right, first up, let's just take a breath and acknowledge what's really going on here. We're going to talk about the common signs of this daily battle and really get honest about the huge impact it has on, well, pretty much everything.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Does this question hit home? If you're thinking yes, then this whole explainer is for you. This isn't just your kid being picky, and it's not just a phase. It's a real, legitimate challenge.
I mean, does any of this sound familiar? That fight over cutting out every single tag, the flat-out refusal to wear jeans. Or maybe it's the kid who lives in a hoodie, even when it's hot outside, right? These aren't just quirks, they're clues. And they have a real impact on getting to school on time, on sleep, and honestly, on the stress level of the entire family.
Okay, so we've all seen what it looks like, but the real game changer is understanding why it's happening. And this is probably the most important shift we can make. This struggle, it's not about defiance, it's neurological. Let's actually look at the science of why clothes can literally feel painful.
So there's this term, sensory over-responsivity. And really, all it means is that a child's nervous system is just, well, it's on high alert. It has a much bigger, more exaggerated reaction to things. A tag that you or I wouldn't even notice can feel incredibly annoying or even downright painful to them.
This is probably the best way to think about it. Imagine we all have a sensory volume dial. For a kid with over-responsivity, that dial is cranked all the way up to 11. The feeling of a seam or the light brush of a tag isn't a quiet background noise. It's like a fire alarm that they just can't turn off.
And check this out, because this is fascinating. It gets super specific. It's not just touch. Our skin has all these different little messengers for different feelings. So when your kid complains about their waistband digging in, that's their Merkel cells sending out a red alert about that constant pressure. That tag that keeps brushing their neck and driving them crazy, that's the Meissner corpuscles. And that feeling of being trapped in tight jeans, that's the Ruffini ending screaming about the skin being stretched. For these kids, any one of these signals can feel like a genuine emergency.
So here's the bottom line. It all comes down to how the brain processes this stuff. Most of us, we put on a shirt, and after a minute, our brain just tunes it out. It goes, okay, not a threat, moving on. But for a kid with an over-responsive system, the brain never tunes it out. It keeps treating that seam or that tag like a potential threat, which keeps the child's nervous system in this constant state of high alert.
Okay, so we get the why. That's huge. But now for the part you've been waiting for, the how. How do we actually move from chaos to calm? Well, the secret is being proactive. It's about supporting your child's regulation before the dressing challenge even starts. This quote right here, this is everything. Seriously, it's a total mindset shift. We have to stop seeing the behavior as defiance that needs to be crushed and start seeing it as a dysregulated nervous system that needs support. Our goal isn't to force them to comply, it's to help them feel calm and regulated.
So here's a super practical routine you can literally try tomorrow. 1, prepare the body. Before you even think about clothes, have your child do some heavy work, like pushing the laundry basket or doing some bear crawls. This gives them what's called proprioceptive input. It's a fancy term, but all it means is it sends calming, organizing signals to the brain. 2, buffer the senses. This could be a big, firm hug or maybe a snug compression undershirt. That deep pressure is incredibly calming. And 3, adapt the environment. Make the dressing space as calm and predictable as you can.
Let's dig into that adapting the environment piece a little more. This means once you find a fabric or a brand of socks that works, buy 10 of them. Stick with what you know is tolerable. It means maybe using a little picture schedule so your kid knows exactly what's coming next. It also means turning off the loud TV and dimming the bright lights while they're getting dressed. Every little thing you do to reduce the overall sensory noise makes the task of getting dressed that much easier.
All right, so those proactive strategies are amazing for getting through the day. But what about the long run? The goal here isn't just to manage the problem forever. It's to actually help our kids build up their tolerance. And this isn't about forcing them into things. It's about gently and with a ton of respect expanding their comfort zone.
The big tool we use for this is called graded exposure. And I really want to stress the words on this slide: gentle, supportive, and regulated. This is not a rip the Band-Aid off or tough it out approach. No way. It's about introducing a new texture for just a few seconds while your child is happy and calm. It's a slow, child-led process.
So what does that actually look like? It's way simpler than it sounds. First, just start with touch. No pressure to wear anything. Maybe they can help you sort laundry and just feel the texture of a new pair of pants. When you do try wearing something, pair it with something they love, like a favorite song or a big hug. Keep it super short, like 30 seconds of wearing the new socks. And the golden rule, the most important part, you always stop before they get upset. You want to end on a win.
This one is huge. Choice is empowerment. Think about it. When a kid feels like they have zero control, their brain's threat response goes into overdrive. By giving them simple choices like, hey, do you want to put your shirt on first or your socks? You hand some of that control back to them. Using picture cards to let them pick their outfit, or just practicing getting dressed on a lazy Saturday with no time pressure, it can completely change the game from a power struggle to a team effort. Wow, okay, we have covered so much ground, from the nitty-gritty science to really practical day-to-day strategies. So let's bring it all together and talk about your path forward from here. If you only remember 3 things from our time together today, let it be these. Number 1, it's neurological, not bad behavior. Your child's struggle is real. They aren't trying to make your life hard. Number 2, prepare, don't just demand. Shift your focus from forcing it to happen to setting them up for success. And number 3, progress is slow. It's gradual. Celebrate the tiny wins, because building tolerance takes a whole lot of time and patience.
And finally, just remember this. All the strategies, all the techniques, all the schedules, they're all built on one thing: your empathy. Just understanding that what your child is feeling is real, and meeting them in that moment with compassion, that is the single most powerful tool you have.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. After everything we've talked about, what's just one small, totally manageable thing you could try tomorrow? Maybe it's doing 5 minutes of heavy work before getting dressed. Or maybe it's just letting them choose if the socks go on first or last. That one small step. That's how you start a whole new path.